So today is Super Bowl Sunday. My New York Times cooking app offered me air fryer spicy chicken wings as the recipe for the day. The grocery store is featuring dips and sliders, and in Walmart yesterday, I saw a couple in matching Seahawks outfits. Folks are preparing for the feast. And if not Super Bowl feast, then Valentine's Day or Lunar New Year. We are good at preparing for the feast, are we not? But I would put it to you that we are probably not so good at preparing for the fast. If we fast, it is to lose weight after all the feasting, or to atone for the sins we might have committed during all that feasting, or to lament and call God's attention back to us so that God will have mercy on us once the empire has completely overwhelmed us. In our Come Sunday email this week, I wrote to you about the Jewish practice of cleaning the house of all the leaven and everything made from leaven before the Passover, a preparation for the Passover feast, in remembrance of the unleavened bread that the Israelites ate as they hurried out of Egypt. This practice carried over into Christianity as we prepare to abstain from rich foods during the 40-day season of Lent, while we are preparing our hearts and minds and homes to welcome the dawn of Easter morning. And so traditionally, Christian households have gotten rid of the eggs and the milk and the flour, all the ingredients necessary for what? Pancakes. And this is why on Shrove Tuesday, churches around the world will be hosting pancake suppers, just like the one that we've been invited to join at First Presbyterian Church next Tuesday, not this Tuesday, next Tuesday at 5:30. Please send your reservations in. Enough for the announcements. That's preparation for the feast. This pancake supper feast is before the fast. It is how we prepare for the fast to get rid of these rich foods so we can simplify our lives during Lent. Here, a week and a half before Ash Wednesday, I believe it is a good time for us to ask ourselves how we are preparing for the fast that is available to us during Lent. It is a good time to peruse the cupboards of our hearts and see what needs cleaning out. It is a good time to peruse the cupboards of our collective hearts to see what needs cleaning out. In the 5th season of The Chosen, any of you watch that wonderful show? I commend it to you, especially maybe during Lent. It is the story of Jesus' ministry and his disciples. In the 5th season, the disciples are preparing the household that has become theirs in Jerusalem ahead of the Passover. They are cleaning it out of the leavening, and they literally turn the household upside down, searching for every crumb that might contain leaven and sweeping it out. Isaiah seems to be saying to his readers here, it is time to turn the household upside down and set it aright. Fasts to lose weight after feasting, fasts to atone for your sins during feasting, fasts to draw God's attention to you are not the fast God is seeking. God is seeking a fast that turns the household upside down and sets it on new foundations. You who were once slaves in Egypt, hear the words of God through Moses. Let my people go, for you have become the oppressors. You who are hungry in the wilderness, and I fed you, share your bread. You whom I shelter under my wing, bring the homeless poor into your house. clothe the naked. Do not hide yourselves from one another, moving from your warm house into your warm garage, into your warm car, and down the street to your warm workplace, returning home at the end of the day to pick up your groceries off the front porch and bring them inside to your warm house again. Do not hide yourselves from one another. Do not cloister yourselves with people who vote like you, spend like you, talk like you, think like you. Seek one another out. Work together, eat together, talk together. Then see what happens. See the dawn of Easter morning come. Then your light, my chosen people, will dawn. Your healing will come. You will call on me, and I will come and say, "Here I am," and I will be your guide. I will satisfy your needs in parched places and make your bones strong, and you will be like a watered garden, like a spring of water whose waters never fail, and you will be rebuilt. And generations will look back to you, foundation builders, and call you repairers of the breach, restorers of streets to live in. So, as we prepare for the fast, we are invited not only to take a look in our personal cupboards, but in our communal cupboard, and to take it personally and work collectively. In 2024, 61% of American adults reported feeling lonely, and that represents a 7% increase over 2018. Researchers from the English Longitudinal Study on Aging captured the distinction between social isolation and loneliness this way. Isolation is being by yourself. Some of us enjoy that some of the time. Loneliness is not liking it. The highest rates of loneliness are among young people and adolescents, closely followed by rates among the elderly. Sometimes it is possible to feel lonely even when you're surrounded by people. Carl Jung famously said, "Loneliness does not come from having no people around you, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to you." I wonder if you are a person who experiences that kind of loneliness. I wonder if you know someone who does. So how might we prepare for a fast that upends this loneliness epidemic? How might we stop hiding from our kin who are lonely? How might we stop hiding from our kin who are hungry for food, thirsty for justice, from our kin who are unhoused, from our kin who are afraid? Today, on this feast day of the Super Bowl, people around the nation have not only prepared big feasts for the big game, but they have also prepared, as you have, bags of food and soup pots full of cash to share with their hungry neighbors. In just a few minutes, we will learn from the children if we've achieved our Super Bowl goal for this year. As we participate in the fast God would choose as we offer food to our hungry neighbors. When I think about this, I was reminded of a scene from Disney's Aladdin, in which Aladdin and his monkey Abu have had some pretty fancy footwork in order to obtain one loaf of bread and then escape the palace guard, to find a place of safety and security in which to share the bread they've procured. When they do finally find that place in a dark corner somewhere, they break the bread. Abu has one piece, Aladdin has another, and then Aladdin looks up and sees two children digging through the dirt, digging through the garbage for something of sustenance. Immediately, Aladdin chooses to share his bread, but Abu takes a big bite out of his and looks up and looks at Aladdin as if, I earned this, I'm going to eat it myself. But then, upon seeing Aladdin's generosity, he brings his half-eaten piece of bread and shares it with the children. And you see Abu learn the joy of giving. You see how our generosity can shine a light for others so that they too may discover that joy of giving? From Ash Wednesday to Palm Sunday, PCUSA Presbyterians participate in an 80-year-old collective effort called One Great Hour of Sharing. This interfaith offering was imagined in 1946 by Episcopal Bishop Henry Knox Sherrill, and it gained national attention in 1949 when then President Harry Truman spoke at an interfaith radio broadcast just after the reading of the Matthew 25 passage, with which we are quite familiar, in which Jesus calls the nations to care for the least of these as if they were Jesus himself. These are the words that Truman said. Fellow citizens, the words from the Bible that have just been read to us from Matthew 25 carry a great message. It is one that influenced our fathers deeply and guided them when they shaped our way of life. As a country, we have long understood that to help the suffering is to serve God. Through our communities and our government as well as through our charities, we have sought to carry out this divine command to aid the hungry, the needy, and the sick. Today, however, the words of the parable of the Last Judgment have fresh meaning for us. Remember, this is right after World War II. They make clear our duty towards millions of people in their countries who have suffered and still suffer the miseries of war, destruction, and tyranny. There are thousands of children in foreign lands today who have no memory of their parents, no knowledge of the meaning of the words home and family, and who have forgotten what it feels like to have enough to eat. There are hopeless thousands who wander among the shattered towns, seeking a place to rest, seeking security and a chance to begin their lives anew. They are many who pray to God only in secret, fearing persecution if they profess their beliefs openly. It is hard for us to comprehend, Truman continues, the grief and distress such as this, because we in America are so much more fortunate. Our country has been blessed with material riches. Our homes are secure. We can go to our churches and worship God as we desire. And most important of all, we know that our rights and our dignity as individuals are guaranteed to us under the Constitution. We know that we enjoy these great blessings not because of any special merit on our part, but because of the bounty of God. It is to God's providence that we owe the richness of our country and our heritage of freedom. Since these good things come to us from God, we know that we must use them for the good of others in accordance with God's will. Many of those in need and distress throughout the world share these beliefs and ideals with us. To them, we should offer not only our aid in physical things, but also a sense of brotherhood in a common cause. We cannot do this through the channels of government alone. We must also extend a hand of fellowship through our private organizations and as individuals. In this way, we can join with those of kindred faith and destroy the barriers of distrust and propaganda that divide us from fellow men. To the millions in the world who cry in their despair for a new day of freedom and justice, we here in America, out of our strength and by our example, can give hope and comfort. I urge you to go to worship tomorrow, President Truman said, each to his accustomed place, to thank God for our heritage and strength, and to ask God for the grace and power to carry out God's will in this troubled world. Next week, when we come to church, we will receive a fish bank like this one. And you'll receive a calendar like this one. This calendar is meant to inspire daily giving, for it's not enough for us to come after 40 days with a check in our hands, but for us to come every day and remember the strength we have, the material goods we have that we can share, so that we can join along with persons around the world in this one great hour of sharing. During Lent, we'll hear together about the work our contributions make possible to assist persons affected by natural and human-made disasters, to feed the hungry, and to aid the development of communities where life is possible for all. To be the light where to be the light we were made to be, and to build solid foundations for next generations to restore streets as places of fellowship and flourishing for all. And so I ask you, how will you prepare for a Lenten fast that is the fast that God would choose?